This is the plaintiff, Joseph Tar Schmidt Sr. He says his car was parked in a parking lot, and the defendant backed his car into it and dented the back quarter panel. They exchanged information and now the defendant's refusing to pay for his car to be fixed. He's had it with the defendant, his bad attitude, and is suing him for every single penny of the $1,200 he's owed. These are the defendants, Desiree Perez Solsona and Archie Roach. Archie says he and the plaintiff were both driving in the parking lot and they made contact with one another at 2 miles an hour. The plaintiff's car is 16 years old. It already had a lot of damage to it due to an accident with a deer a few weeks earlier. Now, this louse is trying to get him to pay for it? No way. They're accused of a backup crack-up.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated, come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Joseph Tar Schmidt, you are suing Archie Roach and Desiree Perez Solsona for Solsona?
Yes.
Okay. For $1,200, the cost to repair car damage that you say was damage as a result of her negligence. Tell me what happened.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. What happened on the evening of December 23rd, on a very miserable night, weather-wise, I was sitting in my car and the defendant backed his car into
So were you parked?
I was parked. My car was off.
How long had you been parked?
Oh, maybe 10 minutes. And so suddenly the car moved and the defendant had backed his car into the front quarter panel of my vehicle.
Okay.
So we were both stunned. He said he'd like to. I asked, "How would you like to resolve it?" He said he'd rather do it without insurance. Do it on a friendly basis. I said, "Fine." We exchanged information, and he was congenial about it at the outset. And then, as time went on, I had offered to have my car taken to any of his body shops at his convenience, and he never did that. He never bothered with that. He began to make me offers of a few $100s because there was former damage from a deer that I hit at the end of the summer.
There was former damage?
There is former damage. I have the photographs, that you could see, Your Honor, on that quarter panel. So he kept pointing to that alone.
It's in a different spot.
A different spot, entirely. I'll give you the photographs, Your Honor. Okay, right here. You should fan that way. That's the car, and go that way. So I took it upon myself then to go to body shops in my general area of Long Beach, and I had 4 estimates. The damage on the front, you see the grill, Your Honor, on the front of the car?
Okay. Do you have any pictures of the damage to the car after hitting the deer, but before the damage to the car that he did, according to you?
No.
There are no pictures that show. Okay.
Yeah, I really had
so
no...
where is his damage and where is the damage by the deer?
The damage that he caused is at the top of the quarter panel.
I need you to come over here and show me because I can't guess at this.
This corner right here for me.
Right there. So
Okay.
show me the damage that was from the deer, from you hitting the deer.
Let me make it big, Your Honor. Can we do that?
I know, it's your phone.
This and this, right? Because the grill, this pushed into it.
That's the deer, that's him.
That's the deer.
Okay.
That and that.
And where's
and
him?
This is him.
This here,
Yes.
from here to there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And fortunately, that is the extent of the damage because he wasn't
Go
traveling
ahead and
fast.
step back. So let me hear from you. What happened?
Your Honor, I came out of the store and got in my vehicle. He wasn't where he said he was parked. There was
Why don't you come and tell me? I mean, I understood him without going to the board, but if you're going to dispute it, let's see what you have to say.
I was here, When I came out of the store, there was no one parked here. This is an entryway into the parking lot. This is an exit. So for him to pull in and park right here, he was actually still in the road when I hit him. I guess he pulled in and stopped. He was looking for a space or what have you. When I backed out, I barely hit his quarter panel. It was the
Okay.
It didn't even make a bump.
You need to understand that accident, even though I've had it, I've had it, and the car I hit was my daughter's. Even though I understand your frustration, I was like, what is that car doing there? You know, it's still
Yes.
Your fault because it's a stationary object and you're backing out,
Yes,
and you know you can't hit a stationary object. But when it sounds like you recognize that and that you were willing to pay for it, but then what happened that broke down the negotiations between you two?
Because he wanted me to pay for the entire damage that the deer had caused.
First of all, you wouldn't even know about the deer if he hadn't told you that.
Ma'am, it was already dented in, so I'd lightly scratched it where it was dented in. I did offer to, have the police and come and make a report and we resolve it through insurance, but he said he was in a hurry.
You can still resolve it through insurance.
He was in a hurry on his way to work and he didn't have time for that, but he said he was a reasonable man and that he wouldn't, he would keep it reasonable. I said, fine.
How much earlier had the damage occurred with the deer?
It was the end of the summer, maybe August.
So the deer thing had happened 6 months earlier,
Yes,
and you hadn't gotten the car
rusty and
fixed.
obvious. I pointed it out. It was obvious, and it was, just.
So your position is that in order to fix the scratch he committed, you would have to fix a whole quarter panel. That's just the way it goes.
I wish. You cannot fix part of a quarter panel. If I swear under oath I will not have the deer damage fixed, still, Your Honor, you have to fix the entire quarter panel. It's unfortunate, but that's the truth. I have the estimates for you.
No, I'm sure that's true.
I'm not here to hurt anyone.
No,
and this
I
should not
understand.
have gone on.
His position is, look, I damaged a not as valuable quarter panel.
And I couldn't have hit the brush guard.
Not a
There's
problem.
no way I could hit the brush guard.
Let me see your pictures, though. But I do see two very distinct hits to the car.
Right there, just by the
I see the
tire.
one in the front, and then I see the one by the wheel. And
Right.
frankly, the one on top of the wheel is less.
That's the one.
This is what, darling? What is this?
Scratch of the quarter panel behind the rear wheel there where the tape measure is, about 26 inches high. That's the scratch resulting from the accident. That's the bumper.
And you can see that the scratch is not as high up as the tire.
Well, I don't understand. Then why were you saying you'd pay for it if you
I told
didn't
him I
do
would
anything?
give him $200 because I did hit the car. I
Okay.
don't deny I hit the car,
Well, then-
but I didn't dent the car. I wasn't traveling at a fast enough speed to
Okay,
dent
when
the
you
car.
hit a car, what do you think happens? You bounce? I mean, you don't bounce. When you hit a car, you hit a car, even at a low speed. Like I said, I've had this accident.
Right.
And then there's a big bill because that's how, if you drive past the body shop, you got to pay. Body work is expensive.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. We are in Los Angeles, in front of the TMZ Celebrity Tour Bus, where we thought we'd talk to people from all over the country who are here to have fun. Having fun on the tour? Yeah! Okay. So here's my question. If somebody has a car that's all dented up and somebody bangs up the car and they do it negligently, can that person who banged up the car say, it was a piece of junk anyway, so I don't have...
I mean, you're only liable for what you do. So
Well, there's going to be a dent that needs fixing around all the other dents.
I think they're liable for that dent.
You think so?
Daggone right they're liable for it. They did it. They need to repair it. Just because it's banged up doesn't mean it's a piece of junk.
Daggone right. Daggone right is the law going inside the courtroom.
All right, folks, here's what we have. There's a beauty to both of your arguments. There really is. There's a beauty to your argument, hey, if that hadn't been there, he'd be paying the exact same amount for the damage because it can't be fixed any other way. And then there's also a beauty to his argument, which is I hit something and you have to assess the value of what I hit because he damaged something that already came damaged. So should he be paying for the whole thing? I mean, they're both very interesting positions.
May I, Your Honor?
Yes. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay. I just would like to say before everyone and the court that this speaks volumes to me about this world and society because if I cause any damage, personal damage, physical damage, heaven forbid, I would be cooperative, I would be kind, and I would be there. It wouldn't take a year for someone to chase me down to resolve this.
Did you ever ask him to take it to a body shop of yours? He offered to do that. Did you ever
No,
say?
He offered to do that, ma'am,
Right,
but
and why?
No,
okay.
I didn't.
So before you decide what something's worth, because you're not a body man, how do you decide it without taking him up on his offer to drive the thing to your body guy?
Well, I don't feel that a little scratch on that quarter
It's
panel.
not a little scratch. You keep saying that, and it's not a little scratch. You dented the car. You can't really say it's $100 damage or a $200 damage or the amounts you're offering when you have absolutely no basis in reality to go ahead and say that. All right, based on what I'm looking at, here's what I think. I understand your argument, and I know that sometimes we lose our faith in humankind when we have to chase somebody under circumstances like this. This is why I advise everybody all the time to call the police when there's a car accident. You know, I don't know which of us is older, but I know which of us has seen this before for 20 years. And, you know, this, if you're shocked, this is your first rodeo. It's not mine. All right, so what do we have? We have you saying, I barely love tap the thing. It should be $100, $200 at the most. That's ridiculous. There's body work that is necessary. If that other thing hadn't been there, it would still be necessary. However, you don't get to look at it as though he hit a completely pristine quarter panel. I think that this is something that you guys have to split. So I'm going to order you to pay $750 to the plaintiff for the damage that occurred that day. That's my judgment. Good luck, folks.
Well, the plaintiff gets a little more than half on the split here, a step over, and you're responsible for more than half. Your feeling on this outcome now?
He's just looking for someone to pay for his previous accident.
$100, come on.
$200. It was already dented. There's more than one body part.
I know, but still, I mean, this is...
It causes several
And the
dents.
damage
I've
on
hit
our
several.
car is down low. If it was higher up where metal hit metal, my car would have had scratches on the paint. It has nothing except on the plastic quarter panel.
Why didn't you just wait for the cops? Like, next
Wanna
time?
Wait. He said he was a reasonable man, but obviously that wasn't the case.
Next time, what do you do?
Call the cops.
And wait for the cops?
Absolutely.
And take pictures of the damage?
It was pouring down rain. Otherwise, I would have took
Whatever.
pictures. But
All right, sir.
All right, so you satisfied now?
Quite.
As your
Justice has prevailed.
faith in your human
My faith in humanity
restored?
is somewhat no, because in the world in which we live, I find that a person can do some damage to your possession or you, and then dictate what the remedy should be, rather than be patient, cooperative, courteous, understanding, and resolve it. I asked him, how would you like to resolve this? He said, I'd rather do it without insurance. During the course of the year, I've asked him 20 times for the insurance.
One moment. Harvey?
So, Kurt, I mean, look, if the car is all banged up and there is some damage, the judge can do rough justice still and award some money. You can't get a free ride just because somebody has a beater. You just can't do it.